You look like a real jerk.
Well, I am a corporate executive.
He stops exciting things from happening.
So what you doing?
Well, Muffy, Buffy, Biff Jr. and I are going on our Sunday drive.
Oh, no, you're not. You're gonna play pole position!
Man, I wish that's what the Pole Position TV show was about. Seeing a douchey family getting repeatedly blown to hell after being thrown into a Formula One racing tournament would be a good time, as far as I'm concerned. But instead, the Pole Position name was licensed to a mostly unrelated DiC cartoon released in 1984. A fusion of Speed Racer, the still very popular Knight Rider, and the 1980s. Like, the entire decade, but condensed into a glowing liquid by unethical scientists who should have known better.
Pole position.
They're moving real fast, they're the only ones who
Let's
can
go,
get there
Dan.
on time.
Okay, sis.
And never too far behind, they're always fighting crime.
Now granted, the Pole Position games didn't have much to adapt, being nothing more than basic F1 racing simulators, but this show doesn't even have that.
I'm your boil engaged, Dan.
What's behind wheels? Hovercraft, quick!
This is a Ford Mustang and a coupe. These are formula cars. I'm not a car guy by any means, but I'm pretty sure these are different. The only thing that actually survived from the games was the title and the colours of these sentient cars, which mirror those in Pole Position 1 and 2 respectively. Everything else is completely uncharted territory, and 13 episodes of it at that. So, let's check out 4 of them, starting with
Today's adventure, the Cove.
Which button do I press?
Press them all.
The series begins with a friendly stunt race between sibling drivers, Tess and Dan. And while I can't imagine this track could end in anything other than brutal fiery death, I'm not the professional driver here, so who the hell am I to assume?
I happen to know a lot of computers who think I'm a pretty funny guy.
I'm sure a pocket calculator would think you're hysterical.
Alright team, how do we outdo that Knight Rider show that everyone's raving about? Well, what if we had 2 kits? You know, so it's like twice as good? Johnson, you beautiful bastard, you've done it again!
Hang on, Rhodey, I'm gonna take the super tube manually.
Manually?
Was there an echo in here?
While the two banter with their AIs and talk a healthy amount of smack with each other, they receive a call from their uncle, informing them of a level 3 emergency. So once their stunt show ends, they then head to their base of operations. Oh shit, yeah, they're government agents, by the way. I should have started with that.
Greg, do mind. What are you doing here?
What I'm doing here is asking you out on a date.
Well, I'd love to, Greg, but something's come up and...
Tess and Dan learn that their AI-powered cars have been left vulnerable to hackers, putting their entire crime-fighting operation at risk. God damn it, if this channel wasn't crowdfunded, this would have been a really good segue into a VPN advert.
If our enemies obtain this information, pole position would cease to exist. Tess, I want you to change the command codes on both cars to Red 9. Repeat, Red 9.
Maybe, if they were using Nord Express Shark, prying ears like Greg's wouldn't have been able to hack them. Link in the description. Later that night, their little sister Daisy plays with KITT 1 and KITT 2, eventually sneaking into the back of one of the cars to sleep alongside them. She does this because she doesn't have any friends and is starved for companionship. I'm not joking about this, it's honestly very sad.
You'll get both computer modules.
And the information I need to destroy pole position.
Hey, who are you? What's happening?
Hey, what's going on there?
With an unplanned hostage in tow, Greg is able to escape with red kits, forcing the siblings to pursue him using blue kits.
Daisy was sleeping in the car when Dumont stole it.
I know you kind of like the guy. I'm sorry, Tess.
It's too late to be sorry. Let's get him.
Their attempts to catch Greg don't go particularly well. However, between Daisy's ongoing sass and the genuine guilt of having kidnapped a child, Greg actually lets her out once he's far enough ahead.
Go on, get out.
Be careful, Daisy.
Don't worry, I will.
This is the moment where I realise that dragging Daisy along on a crime-fighting world tour, instead of leaving her in foster care, was horrifyingly irresponsible of her siblings. But you know, you gotta have the mandatory kid character in the kids show. You know, just in case the kids can't relate to the action heroes. Kids are notoriously bad at doing that. Yo! I don't care if this is a cartoon, that was sick.
Where's the helicopter?
Wait, how the fuck did you swap seats while making that turn? Damn, that's even more impressive than the jump.
With or without radar, nobody loses me.
You want to take that badass line again without the voice crack? No, it was good enough. The chase takes them through the city and into a subway. The train kind, not the sandwich kind.
I hate to bother you, but my radar scan has picked up a large missile-like object racing toward us at a great speed, and I was just wondering if you had a plan to avoid it?
Yes, I do.
Whoa, shit! I gotta admit, I'm not usually a car chase person, but this show does them really well. Said chase does finally come to an end as they reach Vance's underground base.
Now how about my money?
Relax, Dumont. You'll get what's coming to you. Now get back over there and watch the other two.
Well, I see no ill intentions in that statement, so I'll do exactly as you say, boss.
Vance, what are you doing?
You're a pole position agent, Dumont, and a traitorous one at that.
I'd like to take this opportunity to inform you that you can now kiss your entire computer system goodbye.
What? I don't understand.
Wait, I think I do. Uncle Zachary rigged Rhodey and Wheels to destroy your computers. And you, Dumont? You're a great actor.
I didn't see that coming. That was actually a pretty good twist. With Vance's plans all having gone to pot, the gang escape from his exploding base, while he stumbles right into police custody.
Hey, Tess, I thought I was your main guy.
You are, Wheels, but there are some things even a computer can't do.
I know a lot of roboticists who would respectfully disagree with you. And mechanophiles, let's not forget them. I was pretty going into this, but it's actually a pretty solid show. I'm still struggling to see it as a video game adaptation though. Like, it's far enough removed from the pole position games that we don't get an episode dedicated to an actual race until episode 5.
The pole position team drives to win the race.
I'll be doing the driving. Manually.
You didn't tell me that.
Sometimes, Rhodey, I think you don't have a lot of confidence in me.
See you later, guys.
Ugh, oh god! I've never been so disgusted by a combination of visual and music sting before.
5 days ago, a very important computer program was stolen. It was smuggled out in a microchip, like this. By the time the race starts, I'll be able to tell who the key suspects are.
I wonder if it's the creep in the overalls.
I'm Henry Wilson. We're neighbors.
I'm Daisy Darrett.
Hey, are you a racer?
No, sir, I'm 8. I'm unable to drive. Henry lends Daisy a super futuristic holographic games console that she plays directly with her brain waves. This is so on the nose, I'm calling red herring. There is no way this guy can be the smuggler.
The cap will pick up alpha rays from your brain, and you can pilot the spaceship by thinking which way to go and how fast.
Okay, I think it's really cute how the 1980s couldn't even visualize video game graphics getting better over time. Only the sci-fi tech with which we interface with them. Come on, lads, let's boot up the Oculus Rift. I have to play Asteroids.
I'd bet on blank. I never did trust muscle men, especially when they have police records.
Well, Hermes has a police record, and he's a computer whiz.
In order to keep tabs on their prime suspects, the siblings pop trackers under Blank and Hermes' rides. Dan is caught and roughed up by the former, but they're at least not compromised. Meanwhile, the AIs are left to play the Holo game. Because the robot cars are gamers. That's not a sentence I expected to say today.
But if I copy its main memory, I'll be able to beat it.
You heard what Daisy said about cheating?
This isn't cheating, it's learning.
Yep, can't see this going wrong. Anyways, we then move on to the race itself, in which Dan is far too prideful to accept any help.
I'll show that blank who's the real driver.
That's what I'm afraid of.
He passes customs alongside the other drivers, none of whom are flagged up for possession of an illegal chip. You know, assuming that Border Patrol know to look for an illegal chip. But either way, they are all forced to continue. Dan's ego finally gets the better of him as he almost takes them off of a cliff, finally caving in and letting Rhodey take over.
The game's over, Hermes. You gave yourself away when you left the race course.
I left the course to take this shortcut.
Shortcut? You were trying to win this race by cheating.
That's an even bigger crime than international smuggling. You go to jail. To the chair with you.
I've come to get my game.
Do you mind if I play with it a little longer?
No, I need it now.
Oh, okay, yeah. It totally was Henry. You know, sometimes it really is the most obvious guy.
We'll have to cut across the desert to catch him.
Right behind you.
I hate sand, I hate sand, I hate sand.
Okay, Mr. Blank.
Mr. Wilson!
The microchip.
Give it to me.
It was in the game all the time.
And we carried it across the border.
I guess we were the smugglers all along. Now we go to jail.
Somehow, the information on the microchip was transferred into my memory.
In your memory? That means I smuggled the microchip out of the country.
I go to jail.
I didn't like that game anyway.
Episode 9 of this show is called The Bear Affair, and I've never been so excited for an episode by its name alone. Narrator guy, do your thing, make me redundant.
Take to the road with the pole position team as they race to settle the bear affair.
Oh, damn it, it's a teddy bear! Oh, I wanted to see stunt drivers taking on real bears.
Joe Curry called.
Curry? Isn't he the engineer who worked on Rhodey and Wheels?
Yes, he's done a number of special jobs for us. He's in some kind of trouble. Apparently, he left a message in the phone booth he was calling from.
Dan goes it alone to find the booth, containing the titular bear.
Take me to Susie Curry.
Who's Susie Curry?
She's Joe Curry's daughter.
They turn up at little Susie's house, although she's understandably quite hesitant to just let them in. Dan, being Dan, enters through a window and then gets wrecked by a string of Home Alone traps. You know, while Tess and Daisy just clarify who they are, get let in, You know, normal people things.
Contact pole position and tell them I'm at Super Save Automobile Factory. Hurry, because...
Someone interrupted him before he finished.
They rush to the factory only to find an insurmountable obstacle. A security guard!
You got 10 seconds to vacate the premises.
What's that sound I hear? Must have been the wind.
I won't do it. I think you will. Go to Curry's house and get his daughter. Then we'll see if he won't cooperate.
No, leave Susie out of this. Daisy's with Susie. We gotta get the police.
Ah, that's what the sound was. Who'd have thunk? With Dan captured and the villains off to do crimes, Tess and the cars decide to hack open the gate and bust Dan out.
Yo, 50, jump over that big-ass ramp!
Tess rushes to get back and save the girls, dealing with some very inopportune electrical failure on the way there. Meanwhile, Dan gets to have all the fun, driving through an action set piece and saving Curry with a scrapyard magnets.
Going up! Next stop, jail!
By the time Tess finally gets back, the thugs are already in the house. However, they were caught by the aforementioned Home Alone traps.
My burglar trap worked just fine.
Super Save hired me to develop a fuel injector that could save 80% more gasoline.
That sounds wonderful, Curry.
There was a side effect. Dangerous pollutants released into the air. Only Super Save didn't care. They wanted the profits now and worry about the toxic fumes later.
Oh, what a wacky sci-fi concept. I sure am glad this is a cartoon and we don't have to worry about that in real life. Oh, what a blighted hellscape we'd all live in if evil corporations could have their way with the world. Oh boy, that'd be fucking terrible, wouldn't it? And so we reach the final episode. Episode 13, The Trouble with Kuma. Again, I have to let you all down easy. This episode has nothing to do with bears. Kuma is the mutant Skrunkly who I've been actively ignoring up to this point, but I probably should acknowledge him for his spotlight episode.
Fly down the highway with the pole position team as they race to discover the trouble with Kuma.
The episode begins with the siblings enjoying a boating trip, which, as always, is cut short when their uncle hits them with their daily mission.
A weather satellite has detected a massive underwater volcanic eruption in your vicinity. It's going to cause a tremendous tidal wave within a few hours. On a nearby island, there's a biologist doing experiments to create new species of animals. His name is Dr. Mark Lungo. You've got to go there and warn him about the wave.
So away they go to meet the mad biologist, who is not too keen on having guests.
The occupants of the approaching boat must leave this territory immediately.
This prompts pole position to take action. And for those of you who thought a boating episode wouldn't lend itself well to car chases, you clearly do not understand the 1980s. Due to an impact with a landmine, the code they needed to identify themselves is damaged, leaving them stuck on an island where everyone is a murderous asshole.
What's with you, Kuma?
Guess he's glad to be on dry land.
I sure am.
I don't know how you haven't yet deduced that your cat, raccoon, monkey, who says his own name like a Pokemon, was made by the guy who splices animals together. That was my first assumption. That would have been the first thing I asked. Tess meets a totally trustworthy guy named Ferris, who claims that the Doctor is a murderer, and that his kidnapped victims need to be rescued. While Dan needlessly antagonizes said doctor because he's Dan.
I'm not from Uncle Zachary. I'm a master spy out to steal everything but your kitchen sink.
Mike, Gene!
Hey, can't you guys take a joke?
Okay, I'm sorry for goofing earlier on the voice cracks. That was an active decision on the voice actor's part, and at this point, it's an endearing part of Dan's character. Finally, the ultimate battle! The future versus the past. Machine versus nature. Robot car versus demon horse! Naturally, Tess is double-crossed by Ferris and his lackeys, who are actually just trying to acquire the Doctor's sealed research. But then, they engage in some truly unnecessary bastardry.
No, wait!
Why'd you do that? You want someone to warn Lungo before we get off this island?
I can poke several holes in that. I think you just wanted to kill some people. Robot car versus demon horse! Robot car versus demon horse! Robot car versus demon horse! With a little teamwork and ingenuity, Kuma and the girls manage to escape from the temple. Just in time for Dan to show up.
Why, it's Kuma! Then you really must be from Dr. Darrett.
Look, Kuma seems to know Dr. Lungo.
Well, no shit, Sherlock. I splice animals together. Tess breaks the bad news about the Doctor's research, and...
What? This is dreadful. We've got to stop them.
We can't let the world be overrun by Kumas, Scrimblo-Bimblos, Scrunklies. The annoying mascots must be contained. Having already crashed into a mine off-screen, the villains of the episode are already kind of done. However, the Doctor's years of research are still very much at risk.
My papers are being blown away. Years of work lost.
You really gotta learn to calm down, Doc.
Yeah, these cars have a button specifically for that. What of it? Why wouldn't these cars need a comically oversized vacuum while in hovercraft mode? Look, sometimes you've just got to vacuum the ocean. Stop asking questions.
Now let's clear out of here. Oh, don't tell me.
I'm not editing this awkward pause in.
It's the tidal wave!
I told you not to tell me that!
With a little help from a grappling hook, they all avoid the tidal wave, and so the day is saved.
I'll make you another Kuma. He's my first creation.
One Kuma's more than enough.
So that was Pole Position. Much better than I thought it was going to be for a derivative Deke action show that only lasted 13 episodes. Especially with that title theme though. Like, that song leaves me nostalgic for an era that I wasn't even around for. And what did the Pole Position series bring us after this, I hear you ask? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. One of the most influential racing series of all time? And it just kind of petered out. It left its mark on history, and then disappeared before it had a chance to deteriorate in the modern gaming landscape, and... weirdly, there's something comforting about that. Anyways, with that, big thank you to all of my patrons. In particular, Anonymous, Cassie Belmont, Dan Brown, Fitzwilliam Ramsbottom, Pixel Pusher, Ravi Poodle, Shameboy, Thomas Walker, and Toon Pirates. Take easy, everyone.